How you doing? Welcome.
Yeah, I'm great. Hey there, nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you as well.
Talk to you guys. Fill your ears.
To fill your ears.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. So how are you doing today, Jamie? You doing all right?
It's been good. I'm deep in the bunker of coding things, both for work and for this. So,
sounds epic.
no hobby.
I am deep in the bunker of not knowing what day it is because it's the summer holidays.
That's obscene.
Yeah, I think it's a Wednesday. We're going to the cinema tonight. We're seeing Alien Romulus, which I'm very excited to see. I'm a big Alien fan, so that should be good.
That was going to be my follow-up. How hot are you on the lore?
I
don't know anything, so you can say anything.
Reasonably warm on the lore.
Okay.
I'm not like an ultra fan, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have posters up, but I really enjoy the movies. I think the first movie, Alien, is a iconic cinematic horror masterpiece. I love that film.
Banger. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I really enjoy Alien Isolation, the game.
Good game.
So yeah, it should be good fun.
Nice.
I'm very excited.
Nice. Enjoy. I'm
what
gonna
about you?
go and play. I'm gonna go play board games tonight. So that's my evening.
Epic. Jamie and I played Magic this Monday. I felt like a complete fraud because I turned up with a burn deck and won 2 out of 3 of my games. I don't play
Imposter
Magic
syndrome
the
was real.
Gathering. Yeah, it was. The second guy who I played with didn't seem very happy, but it is what it is, you know. I was reliably told by the other guys at the shop that if your deck can't beat burn.
Exactly.
I kept saying,
you got to be happy at burn.
It's the great equalizer. So there you go. I had fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, it was good. So, what on earth are we talking about today, Jamie?
Today, departure from typical paper. I found a white paper, but it's just like a website, basically.
It's a web page.
I wanted to talk about Sora. So back in February, there was OpenAI released the next product in their catalog, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Sora model, generative model, and it makes videos. So I'm going to let's assume that people here today are familiar with ChatGPT. That feels like an assumption.
Yeah, I think so.
I
mean, even I working in a school, even people that are older than me and that are not tech savvy know about ChatGPT in sort of that professional setting.
Yeah.
I know. For DALL-E, for example, the image generator, we played a lot with DALL-E in some lessons in classes, which was super fun. So I do think that it's fairly well known at this point in time.
Yeah, cool. So then extension from DALL-E is, well, if I can make an image, I can make a bunch of images and stick them together in a coherent manner.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sora. Video generation models as world simulators. This is a white paper-ish, so it was released. This white paper was released around the same time as the model itself was released, so in Feb 24.
So fairly cutting edge.
Yes, yeah, pretty cutting edge. I've got authors of Tim Brooks and Schumann that's someone. Can't quite remember the citation. It eludes me. It doesn't. Tim Brooks, Bill Peebles, Connor Holmes. Bunch of people. These are all people, I assume, that work or have worked at OpenAI at the period of time that it was developed.
Nice.
That's what we're talking about today.
So, little preamble on AI, specifically sort of using AI to generate what is effectively art, right? It scares the heck out of me. There's like a dystopian future where all of the humans do all of the boring stuff and the robots make the art, and that scares me.
I'm sure it was meant to be the other way around. The robots do all the boring stuff, and then we do the fun, creative.
So yeah, it's scary. It's And I think the reason why it scares me is because like it's so good already. It's
Yes.
insane. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pretty good.
so I've read through this. I understand you've sort of done a little bit of a deep dive deeper than me. So where do we
Ish,
want to go
ish.
to first? Where do we want to talk about first? Um,
Um, I think let's have a look at how the technology works underneath the hood. That feels like a good.
so
That'll be a step in, and then we can take a step back from there.
yeah, so I they do talk about it a little bit, don't they, in here, turning visual data into patches. Is it that bit? Um,
Yes.
Go on,
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to me.
Let's start there. All right.
Explain,
So,
explain.
um, good analogy is to tie this back to ChatGPT and how those types of large language models work. So, um, there's a training of your model, which kind of just means I'm throwing a bunch of data at it, and you're building a bunch of relationships and connections between different aspects of information.
Hmm.
That's what I like infer as what training your data means.
So like ChatGPT is trained on all of the text that exists on the internet,
Every
effectively.
word ever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like a very precise Google, I guess.
Most of the time, I don't think I have enough evidential substance to question that. I think there's something to the contrary, like how precise it is. But yes,
Yeah, I
for
think
argument's
that's
sake,
fair.
let's assume this.
I've heard. I mean, I don't code, but I know lots of people have used like ChatGPT to help them write code, and apparently it often throws up errors.
Yeah, it
I don't.
does.
I don't code, so I don't know. But I guess that would change the precision. But I mean, so for me, I use ChatGPT to like assist with lesson planning and
Yeah,
resource
yeah,
making.
yeah.
And, if I'm doing a revision lesson on some topic at GCSE science and I just want 50 one word, keyword focused questions, that might take me an hour or more to write. Or I can just ask ChatGPT to write me 50 questions and I can pick the best 30, and that takes me 10 minutes. So
Yes.
it's great for that.
Yeah, I think the fun thing from a coding perspective is it hallucinates packages. Like, depending on your environment, if you're in a Python environment, it might just say, "Here's a package that does this really niche task that would be perfect in this script that I've written or this function that I've
Right,
written."
right.
And then you like copy and paste it, and this package doesn't exist. So how
One
can
day,
you do this thing?
one day it'll make the packages as well, and they will exist.
One day it will make the package with it, but for now, yeah, it hallucinates a package. It's
That's
you can
quite
just use
funny.
this one.
That is quite funny.
Then you tell it
So,
it doesn't exist, and
we understand that ChatGPT is obviously built off of every word that's ever been written ever.
yes,
So,
but the mechanism by which it does that, so it will, like you could take, let's say you've got a paragraph of Shakespeare, it can break down what was it, sub-word? I think it breaks it down to like sub-word chunks. I did scribble this somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. So it breaks it down into little sub-word chunks and like affiliates other information with that chunk. So, and that's your what do they call it? It's a patch and a thing and a token. There you go. So those are little tokens, and you train your model on those tokens. And what your model does then is it can relate the tokens that it identifies in like your question, and it relates it to the tokens that it knows things about. So at least the novel thing from Sora is how you turn a visual image into a like token like thing. And they've called it patches. So they take these you can, when you're training your data set, you'll take your sequence of frames and they squish that down through an encoder into little tiny patches, and that allows you to draw your relationships between different parts of the image. There's a natty graphic I'm looking at with a butterfly. Is it a butterfly under sea?
it
I think
is.
that's a sea butterfly.
They have the sea butterfly later on in the article. They show how they
Let's find it.
stitched that video together from like multiple from multiple different videos, right?
Was that one of the merge ones then?
Yeah,
I'm
the
looking for it.
butterflies emerge one. It's down the bottom. I'll show you. I say I'll show you. You don't have my screen shared. Where is the butterfly?
Hmm.
Have I gone past the butterfly?
I can see it in connecting videos.
Yeah, connecting videos. We can also use Sora to gradually interpolate between two input videos, creating seamless transitions between videos with entirely different subjects and
Absolutely
scene
wild.
compositions. Yeah, so there's a video of a drone and then butterfly underwater and stitching them all together. It's wild to me. Absolutely
Yeah.
crazy.
If anyone's listening to this in audio only, this is absolutely a click through the show notes and
Yeah, definitely.
find the webpage.
I do think that you will get more out of it. I don't think I've said this ever, but if there was ever an episode you would get more out of looking, it is this one. Because
this is the one.
Yeah,
yes,
it's very, very cool.
This is not a text-based thing. Yeah, so like the mechanism by which it does that, it takes your training data, encodes it into little patches, arranges that in some neat, searchable way, and then that builds the model into these like encoded patches. There's a where did I find that graphic? It might not even be on this web page. Oh, damn it! I should have saved that. Well, I found a really good. I did find a really good.
This is like the third or fourth time you and I have said we did find something earlier.
There was a thing. It shows the information. Then, so you encode it when you train the model into these little patches. But then, when you want to generate something, that's it. So when you then send your prompt in to Sora, it will take your prompt. It'll then encode that into more patches? Probably not more patches, but you're then breaking that up into so you can relate it to your patches, and then you decode your patches when it sticks them all out.
It sounds complicated to me.
Yeah, there was some like input, output, decode, encode stuff. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I wanted to talk just above there, just above the connecting videos. There's a section on extending generated videos, which is kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen like the Adobe generative fill?
I've not, no,
AI
but
functions?
tell me more.
It's like where you get a photograph and you'd like crop, just say this, and then you'd add in a blank space and you'd say fill in the rest of the image. You have to look it up. Generative fill. It's like a function. It's really cool.
Right, I'm going.
It's a little bit similar to that in that
I didn't realize this was a do it now thing. Right, okay.
I mean, you can do it now. You could do it. I'm
doing it now.
An hour. Do it now. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Go on, find a little image.
Yellow bee.
What do you think?
Generate. Right, okay, so it's just taken an image and made a bee appear. I guess that's good. Is that good?
I don't know what you're looking at. But so with generative fill, it like fills in a blank. So if you imagine you've got like a square photo and you wanted that photo to be in the center of your frame, but then you wanted it to be widescreen, you could then fill in what doesn't exist, which is exactly what
that is wild.
Yeah, and so it's a similar thing to what they're doing with the video here. So they are
like fill it in either side for me.
Yeah, and then I think about like the implications again with like artists,
creative people.
We talked about Hyperion and the amount of work that goes into rendering and creating images. Imagine if you could just start with a frame and say,
do the rest.
Fill in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Fill in a Pixar movie. And it could just do it.
Crazy.
I mean, that sounds like science fiction, right? But all of this sounded like science fiction 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's just wild. It's wild to me.
Yes.
It is wild.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy.
Anyway, point me somewhere else. Cool.
All right, let's have a look. What else we got? Scaling transforms. Don't know about this. What's your favourite image? I think Callum, can you show me your favourite thing? What's your coolest thing that you saw?
Okay, I actually really like near the top. So where it talks about and again, I don't really understand all of the like techie jargon that's used. But I'm looking at the photo of the photos rather of the dog underneath scaling transformers for video generation, because it starts turbo cursed and then it becomes completely photorealistic with just a few
Mhm.
extra rounds of computation, which I think
Yes.
is super cool to look at. But low key, my favorite one is the first one, the dog with two weird heads and then no head. I think that's my favorite image.
It's a cursed dog.
It is a pretty cursed dog.
Yeah, where are we looking? Scaling transformers for video generation.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes. So an aspect of this is, well, if I just throw, I don't know if that is that scaling transformer. Is that on the model building or on the generation side? Sorry, model patches. I think that might be on the training side, but let's not quote me on that.
Don't know. I don't know.
Models.
I love this idea that they just like chuck noise in and sort of see what sticks. You know?
Yes. And that kind of works. That kind of works, basically.
Do you tell we're not experts on AI?
So I'm just watching this dog. This is great.
Tell me you're not an expert in AI without telling me you're not an expert in AI.
I'm not.
That's
Really
okay.
not.
That's okay.
But I find it interesting, and I do enjoy you. Well,
so what's your favourite picture
then? My favourite picture, I think it might be the transforming videos. Actually, no. Oh right, okay. I'm gonna hop to the end. I quite like the physics breaking ones. And what was the best broken physics one? So,
breaking
OpenAI making cool products. They're making Sora, which is making videos. And like, if you just take it at face value, it is.
What are you looking at? Are you okay, mate?
Sorry, I was scrolling to find a good one. I mean, have a look at connecting videos, and there is one about. I just saw a scene of whales flying into the sea. You'll have to find that one.
Yeah, I think I've got
that one's amazing.
At the bottom of connecting. This is the
that
spliced
one
again, isn't it? So this is
I'm not even looking at the splice part. Just the cityscape of whales flying around the city is beautiful.
It is. I mean, it is stunning, right? But this is an example of what we were looking at earlier, where we had the butterfly. So it's two videos being spliced together. I think actually the creepiest one in this is the chameleon bird.
Chameleon bird. For chameleon bird.
It's two up from the whales. It's two up from the whales.
Okay, what's the creepiest bit? The conversion between chameleon and bird.
Yeah, the middle one where it looks like a chameleon bird. Very weird.
Okay. Chameleon bird? I guess it is a chameleon bird. Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? Yeah, that's real creepy.
Properly creepy.
I think my favourite bits are the broken physics aspects. So where's the example of a broken physics? There's do they do eating stuff? Okay, well let's talk about the good physics parts. So the pros. So when you compare this to previous video models, so like existing research in this field, there was recurrent networks, so where you have a feedback loop that maintains information in memory. There are generative adversarial networks, and my understanding is Sora is basically one of these, and so this is where it generates new data, as opposed to so like a generative network would be give it a prompt of, can you give me a picture of a dog eating a
bagel?
But if you, but a discriminative model would be, is this a dog eating a burger or a cat eating a burger? So yeah, this is a generative network. There was also previous research in autoregressive transformers, which is like having some persistence from previous data into your new prediction. So there's some of the previous types of video networks or AI models that build that create videos, and some of the challenges they had were on some of them were just on like technical aspects, like the resolution or aspect ratios. Like they could only accommodate certain ones, like they were trained on square patches of 256 by 256 pixels, and so the only things it generates are those.
Yeah.
Where for Sora they varied that training data by resolution and aspect ratio, so it can kind of do either, and it's not constrained by that. So that's the good things it does compared to other things.
There's a good point, just to interrupt you.
Please.
Talks about framing and composition.
Yes. Yeah. Is that the swimming?
This
the
the
scuba
swimming
diver,
one.
right?
It says here, we compare Sora against a version of our model that crops all training videos to be square, which is common practice when training generative models. The model trained on square crops left, sometimes generates videos where the subject is only partially in view. So it's highlighting sort of what you were just saying about it's quite smart with its framing and its aspect ratios, and it also obviously notes there that it's pretty normal to train on those just squared images.
So there were some departures from previous models when they developed Sora, and this is one of those pros of leads to better framing.
Yep.
Nice. Other cool things it does which sound obvious but are,
I think I know what
not a given. So I'm looking at like this consistency and long range coherence. So I guess I'm having a look at. What am I looking at? The 3D consistency. Oh, here we go. So emerging simulation capabilities is what I'm having a look at.
Yep.
So if you're stitching together this 1 minute video, it might be like, think of a camera panning through a scene and actually having a. So I'm looking at one that's like in an Asian market with two people walking by. Early on in the scene, you see a background city, and that kind of goes out of perspective for a little bit whilst you're zoomed in, and then it pans back out. And having that consistency in a full 3D world, that's.
I think the phrasing you're looking
not
for
a given.
Is object permanence.
Yes, that's the one.
So things exist even when they're out of frame. So when we did the episode on image rendering, was it our first ever episode when we talked about I can't think.
We talked about Fong.
Fong. When we talked about that, we talked about how in video games, the things don't exist unless you're looking at them.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of a similar thing, because as soon as it's out of frame when it's being generated, it doesn't exist, but it has to remember what's there and where, which is why they have so many issues doing things like, if I was to put a prompt in of dog eating a burger, well, that burger's going to have a bite taken out of it, and that is going to look a bit scuffed in the image generation. I think they actually mentioned.
They said they could do that, right? I saw a man eat burger, and I'm sure that was. They said that was a thing that they can do.
Yeah,
I think yes, like that remembering is good. I liked there was a dog in a window. Like there are multiple frames where the dogs. Yeah, there's multiple frames where the dog's occluded.
Yep.
From the observer,
covered by walkers,
but it's still there. Does it have the same spots? I'm having a look at. Does it? Yeah, it's like spots don't move around.
Yeah, spots are the same.
It looks like the same dog. Does its ear look the same? Yeah, that ear looks good.
Traditionally, podcasts that talk only about how dogs look do very well, I've heard.
More dogs, please.
Yes.
But
no, very cool. There's the bloke eating burger as well.
There's burger, dude. But there's some good things that it does.
Yeah, I say my point was that's not something that has been common, is my understanding.
No.
Before,
no.
Right? Those things are quite tricky to do. In my notes, I just wrote Minecraft, yay, because simulating digital worlds. Sora can simulate artificial processes. One example is video games. Sora can simultaneously control the player in Minecraft with a basic policy while also rendering the world and its dynamics in high fidelity, and we get the lovely, lovely flowing Minecraft imagery. But AI
could you use
Minecraft
this
imagery?
Could you use this to just make?
Let's play.
It's got to be more effort than just playing Minecraft. I'm just thinking, could you just like write a script that generates Minecraft content in a consistent manner and publish that?
YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Maybe that would
rich.
be.
There's got to be more to it than just shipping content. I don't know, man. But yeah, it's definitely impressive, like taking a digital world and
Yeah, it's the thing because
maybe there's some other
it's
niche
just
cases
Minecraft, right? But like,
Mm.
what's crazy to me is like it looks like Minecraft, but that's not recorded in Minecraft. That's just been prompted, and it's making what it thinks Minecraft looks like. Because to me, that just looks like a Let's Play. Some guy wandering around a plains biome. It's mad.
Yes.
He's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, it's got some things really right, which is nice. I mean,
what does it do badly?
What does it do badly?
Because I don't really.
Physics is hard.
Physics. Okay.
Yeah. So we got an example under discussion. There's a glass.
Yeah, the glass
should break, and just doesn't. So, like, if you've got a glass of fluid and you get over it, should break.
And all the water, all the liquid just stays inside, which is great.
Oh, does it? I didn't trigger that part. Let's have a look at the.
Yeah,
it
almost looks like there's like a screen on top of the glass.
Oh yeah, it does.
Can you see it? Yeah, it's very bizarre. Very, very bizarre.
So, there are some physics things that don't make sense. And how do you train on? I think if from my digging, they are working on some like math stuff, or like one of their next products. Like, so I guess if you can train maths and physics and like those types of applied sciences, then I guess you could work them into their models. Anyway, I was just trying to think how you solve that, but
I'm still watching the glass. I'm trying to pause it at a nice moment. Yeah, it's good.
So doing physics is difficult. Yeah, I don't know what was. Oh, that was probably space stuff. Yeah, so there's some difficulties there. Have you used Sora? I don't know if I've used it actually.
I haven't.
That's what we should have done ahead of this. Missed a trick there. Thrown in a couple of prompts. Yeah, at least skeptic poking in here. I'm interested how much of these are cherry picked. Like the best.
That's fair. I certainly, when I've used like DALL-E in the past, some of the stuff you get back is absolutely wild, and is in no way what you ask for. I imagine that.
Can you just tell it it's wrong and get it to fix it? I assume it would.
You can iterate on your prompt and ask it to regenerate.
Okay.
My Discord picture is actually a prompt. The little orange and blue foxy monster.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was very cute.
Nice. All right. Well, I feel like that's Sora. I feel like this one's just a head to the website, scroll through and look at some pretty pictures and cool videos. What's Sora been?
Is Sora free?
And we're August. No, none of their stuff.
No. ChatGPT.
Their old ChatGPT is free. I think it's behind their paywall.
Yeah, it is. That explains why I didn't try it out. So where are we at? Do we have anything else we want to talk about with regards to the article? Or are we just going to...
nothing in article, but I was interested in rambling a bit on AI in general.
Ramble at me.
So this was February. There are since then, well, over the last couple of years. So OpenAI released ChatGPT in November 22, and that was probably one of the early. Maybe that's 3.5 when it really kicked off. Since then, there have been other companies working on their models, and so we've got Google building one, Anthropic. It was interesting to learn that the founders of Anthropic were also from OpenAI, so they're spawning from the same place. Meta are working on one. I hadn't heard of Baidu, and I was also not aware that obviously, but X are Elon Musk is making their own
Oh, Elon.
AI model.
I saw a fabulous
So
photo this morning I think I was on Threads,
nice.
Meta's X or Twitter.
Yeah, I
And
don't know what
it
that
was
is.
just an AI generated image of Elon Musk holding up a sign that says "Trans Rights Matter," which I thought is really funny because he's a little bit
Yep.
yeah, a little bit anti-trans these days. So yeah,
Interesting fella. I think he was quite involved
best
with
use of AI.
OpenAI early on as well.
I mean,
Yes,
he's been
it sounds like the
involved
best
in
use.
quite a lot of great things, to be fair to him.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Not an Elon Musk episode.
no, we're not going
What a
down that
fella.
rabbit hole. Not going down that rabbit hole.
But what I wanted to, I guess, highlight was you can at least on the chat side on the large language model. So steering away a bit from Sora and it being a video model. It's been interesting where Meta they open sourced Llama, which is their large language model. I think it was an accident. I think it was leaked, and they just lean into this. But they've open sourced Llama, and for quite a while OpenAI were like ahead of the game. And when you benchmark them all against the same training data set, then they were ahead. But a lot of the other models, they've all there's a lot of parity now between the different competitors.
What's your take on, should AI be open source and free at the point of
absolutely.
access?
Yeah. There's an interesting wrinkle about the open sourceness of Llama, or the model. So there's the open source of all of the code that does the stuff, like I can train a thing and I can then do the query stuff, and that being open source is one thing, but then the actual training data set is that open source. And I'm not certain, at least with Llama, I'm not certain if that is the case. It might be the case, but it might not be the case. Like there's two parts to it.
I don't know. It scares me because I say that a lot, don't I?
Technology is scary.
It is scary because I just, there is a world where a few people who run these big companies get very, 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 very rich at the detriment of a lot of people.
Yes.
That just worries.
That's not good. That's not good. Yep, open source it, please. Yeah, some of the framework for capitalism seems wonky.
But it's not an Elon Musk episode.
But it's not an Elon Musk episode. Yeah.
Oh god. Sorry.
Yes.
Further rambling.
Anyway,
do you have any more ramblings?
Parity. They've been reaching parity, which is good. So, in the same vein of let's not just have these big, powerful corporations have all of the cool technology. It's at least a bit more diversified now than it was just a few years back. So that's a good thing. I like that. Yeah. I think that was. Anything else? I think that's probably me good. What about you? Have you got anything else you wanna pick up?
I don't think so, really. Only that my school banned ChatGPT, which is a pain. It really annoyed me.
For students or for teachers?
For both, which I really don't get. I mean, I kind of get, but it's just like, ugh. It's so nice to be able to ask it questions, So annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I'm sorry to hear of your woes.
So I guess a final thought moment, because I feel like we're coming to quite a nice organic end here. Final thought moment. AI good.
Mm-hmm.
AI a little bit scary.
It is.
Please, governments regulate it and make it take the boring jobs and not the fun jobs. That's my takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sora,
encroaching on
very, very cool. Very,
very cool. Little encroaching on
little scary
human things.
But very cool.
Yes. Yeah, I'm keen to see more open sourcing. More I guess the open sourcing is one thing, but then actually collaborating on it and fostering that as a community is another thing. So more of the latter there. So more community support for OpenAI or AI models and for their training data set. Probably a good thing.
I think it can only be a good thing, right?
Yeah, I think. Let's pick that up here.
Go on.
At least on the coding side, so like for ChatGPT, there was like the default pre-ChatGPT was like you got a lot of Stack Overflow, which is it's just like a web, like a forum sort of thing. How do I solve this?
Yeah.
And like all of that, and like Reddit as a repository, like great repository to train my data on.
Mm-hmm.
But then where you have like the huge transition of people just using OpenAI or ChatGPT, it means
that
you're then dwindling your data.
Yeah.
So then future models are going to then be to a detriment, or
I hadn't actually considered that. That's a really, really, because you're right. Half the time when I think it was yesterday, I was trying to get Valorant to work on my fiance's computer. Now I don't know. Valorant has an anti-cheat that gets installed with it. Riot Games anti-cheat, and you have to like go into your BIOS settings and tweak around to be able to.
That's not how you install a game, surely not.
No, but it's otherwise Vanguard doesn't run, and then the game will crash, and it's a right pain in the arse. So you have to I can't think what it is. I think it's like safe boot, and there's something else that needs to be enabled for Vanguard to work. Anyway, long story short, I did a bit of Googling, found a Reddit page with a YouTube video, sorted it out in 5 minutes.
Lovely.
And that's a good point, because I hadn't even considered the fact that all of those, copious numbers of Reddit threads and forum posts and YouTube videos that I've found to help me fix these little problems, that's what the AI is being trained on.
Yeah.
And
so we do less of that.
Now people are going, how do I install Valorant and get it to work with my BIOS settings? They're typing that straight into ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting
little wrinkle.
Food for thought.
I feel like that level of rigor should only be necessary if you're trying to install something like Magic Online for Linux.
Have you installed Magic Online for Linux, Jamie?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad used to use Linux on and off. I've never touched it. But when I can't remember, I was watching something the other day or reading something. It was like, if you don't know how to open up command prompt on Apple, you can do this. On Windows, you can do this. And if you use Linux, let's be real, you know how to do it. And I thought that was quite funny.
Yes.
Okay. So, any final thoughts from you before we wrap up?
Nah, that's me good, man.
Okay.
This has been fun. I've enjoyed Sora.
Yes, it's been a good one. I felt like I kind of missed having a paper with some conclusions to dig into. But
where's Figure 5?
Yeah. So if you're an audio or a video listener / watcher, feel free to give us some feedback. Obviously, it's slightly different to what is the norm. Without sans paper and all that. So let us know if you think this worked or if you think it didn't. We would appreciate any and all feedback.
Always happy for feedback.
On that note, you can find us on YouTube if you are a video watcher, or wherever you find your podcasts, Spotify, RSS feed, etc. If you are an audio listener, you can catch us at osmosiscast.com. I have been Callum Morris.
I've been Jamie McMillan.
Thank you very much for listening, and have a lovely week.
Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.